Alright, hello and welcome to another Lorcana Platypus video. I don't know why I'm using the old Showtimey voice, but it's fine. We have a brand spanking new deck that's 100% original idea. Do not steal, that's a lie. I saw someone build this and I was immediately like, hey, wait, I can make this better. So that's what I'm presenting to you today. Ignore the fact that the name is what in jank? I swear it's not jank. Also, ignore the fact that this is probably the most expensive deck that has ever existed. We'll get to that. I promise we'll get to that. Before we do that, though, like, subscribe, coaching, plus Twitch, plus Discord, all in the description. Back to the video. So, how does this deck win? Well, the deck is called Items Matters deck because items matter in the deck. However, you aren't usually playing items okay, you're usually playing one item turn one, but then you aren't playing more items until like turn three, turn four. Kind of depends on your hand, as I'll get into most likely. But the deck is leveraging this really greedy game plan of flooding out a bunch of items with Oswald, Scuttle, and Hiram by having the ability to dig reliably through the deck for Under the Sea and singing it singing it very easily with all of these characters that you can cheat out and their expensive costs, such as Scrooge McDuck, the one that lets you play for free if you exert 3 items, and Bell Apprentice Inventor. The game plan is certainly not tier 1 worthy because you fold almost immediately under any hyper aggro or aggro deck. Bell and so the problem is really that there's an anti-synergy between Bell and Scrooge that often doesn't matter once you get to mid to late game, but aggro decks just completely run over you. Any deck that's only playing an item turn one just immediately folds under aggro decks, despite our ability to make it so that we can play a 3/3 on turn one with one of those items. The problem is that, like, there's enough answers to Belle and enough people running answers to Belle that she's not usually able to actually take out multiple of their high questing characters. What Belle does is help you slow down the game to the point where you're able to establish all of your combo pieces and just absolutely pop off. And that's sort of the name of the game with this deck. There are so many different combo pieces. If you get even one Maurice's Workshop down, now all of your hidden ink casters and popsicles actually draw you an extra card. Um, so they start to go card positive. Ice blocks are now a free cycle card, 2 cost cycle card. Whatchamacallit, Oswald can go absolutely nuts because if anytime you hit Oswald's trigger, which is on average 1 out of 3 with this deck because you're running 20 items, then every time you hit that with Maurice's Workshop, you're drawing a card. And then if you don't get this combo off of Maurice's Workshop and Oswald and all of that shenanigans, that's fine. You have Hiram and Scuttle and Scrooge McDuck, which are still searching for items for you. And later on, the cards that you've discarded with Bell and Hiram can be cycled back with Tamatoa and his freaky enchanted card. But if you're able to get 2 popsicles back off of Tamatoa and you have either a Hiram or another Bell you can play, or you're trying to now establish your Scrooge McDucks, or you have a Maurice's Workshop, all of a sudden you're drawing through like 40 cards of your deck and your opponent is just sat there waiting for you to finish playing Solitaire. There's a lot of ratios I need to fix with this deck. I am not done playtesting with it, because one of the things I find more and more of is that I don't need 3 copies of Tamatoa So Shiny in the deck, because what Tamatoa is here for, sorry for the flashbang, he is here strictly to solve the ramp mirror match or the sapphire mirror match, Because what you do in the mirror match is you literally just sit there playing solitaire, getting all of your items because they're non-interactable with by your opponent. And both you and your opponent are pretty slow at like actually winning the game. However, usually you're facing Ruby or Steel, which have ways of killing your Tamatoa. So you just sit there and twiddle your thumbs until Tamatoa has like plus 10 lore, and you just go for the one turn win with Lucky Dime plus Tamatoa win game. And that's very possible to do because you just drive for your whole deck. And then obviously I have just this one copy of Develop Your Brain in here. There was only 7 1-drops, and typically speaking you want 8, so I've cut 1 ice block because then we would be at 21 uninkables. And despite us running Hidden Ink Caster that lets us ink uninkables, um, it still can be a problem, especially if you don't hit the early ink caster, because then you're reliant on Tipo to be your ink source, which it is reliable enough. As soon as you get your Tipo and or ink caster out, then the high uninkable count of the deck is no longer an issue, especially because a lot of your cards cycle themselves with Popsicle and Hidden Inkcaster and blah 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 yada yada. I keep talking about them. All you need to keep in mind is that in your initial mulligan, you have to keep stuff you're going to be inking for sure in order to make sure you don't brick unless you have the Hidden Inkcaster or the Tipo in hand. Now, I'm not confident in making a call on where exactly this card stands in terms of the meta, because there's a lot of things that could be happening in the next 2 weeks that just absolutely demolish this deck. But right this second, it has a positive win rate. I'm using the wrong list. It has a positive win rate into mid-range decks because you just go silly on them, and then it has a positive win rate into the ramp mirror match because once again you go silly on them. Uh, you're just so greedy and able to draw so much that it doesn't matter what your opposing ramp player is doing. You always have an answer for them since you're literally seeing your entire deck. Now, I've accidentally shown off kind of the alternative idea this deck has as win condition, beyond just to deal with aggro matchups beyond just Under the Sea, and it's really funny. So your other idea, you still need Under the Sea, unfortunately, to win eventually, but the other idea for this deck to win is actually to stick a Peter Pan Neverland Prankster on the board, because if you have Peter Pan Neverland Prankster on the board and an Emerald Coil, all of a sudden your opponent has no way of gaining lore for the rest of the game. And that's currently where the deck stands as a solid tier 2, tier 3, and ridiculously expensive deck. Oh my god, I need to talk about this. Okay, the inflated prices at the start of a set are absurd. Tamatoa, Happy as a Clam, and Scrooge McDuck, Resourceful Miser, should not be costing $400 in order to get a playset of. Did I do my quick math correct? Yes. That's 120 plus 280. Yes, $400. Man, I'm so good at math. Anyways, it's literally just these 2 cards. And Oswald has shot up in price as well as people realize, wait a second, item tribal might be good. If you had an Oswald before all of this, I congratulate you. And if you opened up a Tamatoa or Scrooge McDuck out of your booster box, I implore you sell them as fast as you can, because no way are these prices sticking around, okay? All right, there might be a slight chance, but it's like, don't take me for financial advice. I proxy 58% of my decks. That's a lie. It's been as high as 88%, but that is the deck. Very funny very solid meta contender right now. I know everyone's been focusing on Emerald, Sapphire, Baja Blast Control. I want to present the alternative way of playing Baja Blast that, in my opinion, is infinitely more funny. So, with that being said, I will leave you all with that. I hope to see you all next time. If you haven't subscribed and you've made it this far into the video, please consider it. Smile. And yeah, I wish you a good morning, afternoon, night, whatever time zone it may be for you. And yep.